to Farm RPG. Belogan here. In this video, we're going to talk about an update that was recently made to the Slaughterhouse library page. We had some information get passed on or discovered that the amount of experience given to cows and pigs when you were petting them and feeding them has changed at some point. Don't know exactly when that got changed, but it did. And so the numbers have changed a little bit as far as our recommendations. I had firestream go and check and see if it was a bug that these values were lowered or nerfed, but the backup system and on alpha and everywhere else, it was the numbers we're currently seeing. And so we don't know when the change was made. It's probably been a couple of months and we just didn't really realize it to now. But essentially what's happening is the amount of experience that you're getting when you're petting and feeding your cows and pigs has come down quite a bit. So if we go over the specific numbers, cows receive 350 XP whenever you pet them without the animal lover perk, and with it, it's 700. Prior, this was 500 and 1,000. And then pigs receive 1,000 XP when you feed them without animal lover and 1350 XP with it. Pigs were the same before, but it was 1500 XP initially. And those numbers weren't ones that we derived from looking at the system. Those were numbers that we got from firestream when the system was initially put out here months and months ago. So I mentioned at some point it's changed, and so the recommendations have changed. So there are a couple new charts in here. I'm just going to go over these very quick. We put in just very simplistic views of all of these. I'm going to go over what these mean and what the numbers are telling us. So the two assumptions in these simplified charts are first that you have the animal lover perk. Without that, these numbers change a little bit. The other assumption is that you have all of the silver selling price perks unlocked, and so you get 60% increase on your selling price for your bacon and your milk and your leather. Granted, if you're going to craft stuff with your leather, you know that's a little bit different story. We have decided not to worry about the cost of feed for your pigs. At this point, most of us are just throwing in extra crops our pets are bringing and getting more feed than we know what to do with. So we decided it was a little bit negligible. Another thing to point out, this analysis isn't done for the optimal profit per day. To do that, you want to slaughter as many cows and pigs as you can in a batch until you hit your inventory limit of bacon or of hide and or leather and steaks. We've talked about that in some of the previous iterations of the pig videos, just because your cost for replacing the pets goes down as you do more of them. Instead, these are set so that every day you get the same amount of commodities, so that you get a little bit of something every day. So your cost to replace is a little bit higher. That's not maximized, but just the way the analysis was done. Primarily by Coderanger here, and I'm going to dig into his sheets a little bit to show where some of these numbers come from. So we have cows levels 5 through 10. These are the new days to reach each of these levels, 17, 26, 37, 49, 65. And then the cows per day average is basically 250 divided by your days to reach, so that it works out so you're doing an average number. So we're saying you're going to buy 14 cows every day, and you're going to slaughter 14 cows every day. 9 at level 6, 6 at level 7, so that you keep your stock full that way. Then we have your steaks per day. That's how many steaks you're going to be getting. And then the total profit is the total of the number of cows or the number of steak that you're getting minus the cost of the number of cows to replace those steaks. So this ends up really being optimized still at level 8, which is kind of what we had before. I think the silver or the profit per day is lower because it's taking us longer to get here than it had prior. Pigs we're kind of doing the exact same thing with. Now they do level faster, so 9, 14, 19, 26 days and so forth to reach. And then how many pigs are doing a day? 27, 17, 13. You'll notice these numbers of bacon per day are very, very reasonable, so you can certainly do significantly more than these per day. Again, this isn't optimized for maximum profit. This is set to having the same amount every single day come through. And if you look at this, the maximum total profit still is level 7. But if you look at, oh, copy that, please. If you look at level 5, it's almost exactly the same. It's a difference of about, what is that, 80,000 silver-ish, 83,000 silver per day. If you were buying feed, the longer time to get to level 7 would probably make these more expensive, which would make 5 be a little bit more optimized. So with that, let me switch my sheets over here. All right, so just to show where this comes from, this is Coderanger's sheet that he shared and had this discussion. He's the one who initially realized that the amount of XP we were getting for petting cows and giving feed to pigs was significantly less. So he's gone through here and done all of the analysis, and he's got columns for the values with and without the animal lover perk and your silver selling price perk. The feed cost in here, I think he ended up throwing out. And then we had a little bit of discussion about this. He's got a column later on for total profit per day, where he was basically taking your total profit and dividing it by the number of days to get there. So for example, if I was doing level 5 here, pigs, That was taking, how many days would we say? 9 days to reach that. So he's taking the total profit divided by 9 days. But and I talked to him about this and realized that's not really a holistic view, because you're forgetting that if you're doing this every day, you've got 9 batches of pigs making this much. So the divide by 9, the multiply by 9 cancels each other out. And you basically have this total profit per day. He also tells us total bacon per day. He's got other things in here like your total milk and your total leather that I didn't include in all of my analysis. But this is really the basis for the analysis I used. The only things I really changed were just throwing out any kind of feed cost and then only including the max perks. So shout out to Coderanger for pointing out the differences, something that we missed, and for helping us get this updated and correct. All right, there you have it. That is the update to the library page for the Slaughterhouse and analysis of a stealth nerf and what it means for us. If you stick to the old recommendations, you're still pretty much fine. They're still pretty much the same. Just the amount of silver you're gonna get per day ends up being a little bit less. All right, as always, thanks for watching.